Hi, I'm Clark Smith. I'm the winemaker for WineSmith, and today I'm going to talk about Saint Laurent. I'm kind of making wines for winemakers, and I like to make experimental wines and things that nobody ever heard of. But in this case, we're just working with a little-known grape that's mostly called Saint Laurent in Germany, actually in Austria. There's about 800 hectares in Austria and a similar quantity in Czechoslovakia. And in the Czech Republic, they think of Saint Laurent as their kind of their Cabernet Sauvignon. And there's a guy named Dale Ritchie, another screwball like me, who grows this in Carneros. And so we got together in 2013. And then this is the 14. It's the second vintage we've made here. And one of the reasons I really like this grape, well, there's several things. One is that I use the French term Saint Laurent, or you could say Saint Lawrence. Saint Lawrence was the bishop of Rome. In, I think, 384 AD, he was martyred on August 10th. And it used to be that we would pick the grapes on the saints' days, and so this one got picked really early. And it does mature quite early. It's good for a short growing season, and it doesn't have very much alcohol. So this one is 12.6, and I really like wines that don't have so much alcohol, and in particular, the other thing that's really fun about this stuff is that it has a really dense, fine, soft tannin structure. Really, unlike almost anything else, it has boatloads of tannin, but they're very, very soft, and so it kind of comes off like a Gamay in being very rich, kind of medium-bodied, but not with no hard edge to the tannins at all, and so it's a wonderful picnic wine. You could say kind of like a Beaujolais, except I think it has a sort of Eastern European cynicism about it. It's got plenty of bright fruit, sort of juniper or acai or something like that, but there's a lot of other stuff going on in this wine. Sort of an earthiness, almost in the direction of Thai basil, but it's all held together inside this rich, dense structure. So it's a really good example of what we talk about in postmodern winemaking as aromatic integration. And the idea there is that that red wine is not a chemical solution. It's a colloidal suspension. And what that means is there are little tiny beads of very similar chemically to chocolate. Chocolate is a colloidal suspension too. And what happens is those little beads of tannin and color, anthocyanin pigments, pull other similar, chemically similar compounds like oak, and a lot of the oak compounds are cyclical, and pyrazines, the vegetal characteristics and stuff, all end up pulled down into the structure, kind of the way a Béarnaise sauce doesn't smell like the things that are in it. Doesn't smell like tarragon or mint or onion or vinegar or any of that. It just has this single integrated Béarnaise kind of holistic kind of aroma. And that's what goes on here. It's just a really good example of taking a lot of disparate elements and bringing them together into a single kind of soulful aroma that, to me, goes way beyond what Beaujolais offers. I mean, I love Beaujolais, but it is a little on the silly side, you know what I mean? And this is, although texturally similar, is a lot more interesting, I think. And so just big, dense, and at the same time kind of light. Doesn't bite you. This is a red wine for people that don't like red wine, in that it just doesn't bite you. It does have some nice acidity to it. Now, normally, I don't. I try to make my reds with fairly low acidity, because what that acid does is it pulls saliva into your mouth, and that saliva's got protein in it. The protein attacks the tannins, and you get a kind of a coarse mouthfeel. So if I'm making a Cabernet Sauvignon, I'm going to try to keep the acid as low as I can. But with this wine, I don't know, the tannins are coated with something. It must be a polysaccharide or something, but it can handle all that acid. So it's a great food wine because it's palate cleansing, but it also has all the richness and complexity that you would hope for from a red wine, more profound than pretty, if you like. So I hope you'll enjoy a bottle of this, and why don't you write me at Clark at Winemaking 411 and tell me how you like it.